Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 6th. I'm Jasmine Anderson. Topping your headlines, a Jericho man is expected to be sentenced in a deadly high-speed DUI crash. Jordan Solomon was driving 100 miles per hour with nearly 3 times the legal limit of alcohol in his system when he crashed into a motorcyclist, killing the father of 4. The crash happened last year in Jericho. Solomon pleaded guilty and is facing up to 15 years in prison. A community continues to mourn the death of the East Hampton mom and her toddler killed in a plane crash. The plane triggered a security scare after entering restricted airspace in D.C. Sunday. The MacArthur-bound jet lost communication with air traffic control and crashed hours later in Virginia. The plane's owner tells Newsday his adopted daughter, East Hampton real estate agent Adina Azarian, and his 2-year-old granddaughter, Aria, died.
We're just so sad, so sad. Very sweet. Always stop, say hello, and I'd pet the dog who'd come running, and it's just to watch her, like I said, from being pregnant to seeing the child to, she was a couple years old, and we're just devastated.
Also killed, the family's live-in nanny and the jet's pilot. Federal investigators are still trying to figure out why the plane went off course. A search for what sparked this Elmont building fire that hurt 4 firefighters. This was a scene on Linden Boulevard last night. Everyone inside was evacuated safely. 3 firemen were treated on the scene for smoke inhalation, and one was taken to the hospital after cutting his hand. An air quality advisory on the island today due to the smoke from more than 100 wildfires in Canada. The smoke is creating hazy conditions out there today. The state DEC says exposure can cause irritation to the eyes, nose, and throat and can worsen medical conditions like asthma and heart disease. Happening today, an initial vote expected on a Suffolk sewer tax proposal. County legislators are expected to set a public hearing on the plan to raise the sales tax by 0.125%. The money would fund a widespread expansion of sewers and high-tech septic systems in the county. The hike would require voter approval. Indicted Long Island Congressman George Santos is trying to keep secret the identities of the people keeping him out of jail. His attorney filed a letter asking the judge overseeing his case to keep the names of the people who put up his $50,000 bond sealed. Santos is facing several federal charges, including money laundering. The field of Republicans running for president is getting more crowded today. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is set to launch his campaign at a town hall in New Hampshire this evening. 79 years ago today, U.S. troops, including many Long Islanders, joined their allies and stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. To mark the anniversary here, a wreath will be placed on a D-Day landing craft at the Museum of American Armor in Old Bethpage. And in Suffolk, a memorial will take place to honor surviving veterans from that day. This was a scene this morning on Omaha Beach as people gathered for sunrise ceremonies to mark the anniversary of the D-Day landings. On that day in 1944, more than 4,400 Allied soldiers died, more than 2,501 of them Americans. A vote today on a deal to avoid a nurse strike at St. Charles Hospital. The Port Jefferson Hospital reached a tentative deal with the nearly 300 nurses over staffing, salary increases, and other issues. The nurses union says it includes an average pay increase of 20.5% over the 3-year contract. It's National Long Island Iced Tea Day, and the beverage believed to be created by a bartender at the Oak Beach Inn in 1972 has a role in an upcoming Hollywood movie.
Okay, Long Island Iced Tea for America's Sweetheart and one for the boy.
That's an exclusive sneak peek of No Hard Feelings starring Jennifer Lawrence and Whitmer's Andrew Feldman. The film is set in Montauk and was shot all over Long Island. It hits theaters June 23rd. Should be a good one. Coming up.
I know that it's not just me. I know it's a lot of us that are ignorant to this fact that we all can get skin cancer.
Only a Newsday, the Long Island woman sharing her skin cancer battle. But first, Your hyperlocal weather. Showers today, highs around 68 degrees. Tonight we dry out and drop down to the 50s. Tomorrow, 70s and sunny. And here's a look at your futurecast. The rain rolling through earlier this afternoon. Bring an umbrella. A look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
Watch Newsday TV on the big screen. Use the remote to activate Siri, Alexa, Roku, or the Google Assistant on your streaming device. Say, install Newsday. Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
It's one of the most common cancers and is among the deadliest. And today, a Long Island woman has a message for you after her battle with skin cancer. Steve Langford has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
It still hurts Jasmine Miller of Holtzville to walk on her right heel.
And they're like, you got to go see a dermatologist ASAP.
Miller had gone to the doctor earlier this year to check out something on her heel that just didn't feel right.
It came back melanoma, and like my whole world was like, wait, what?
The surgery in March to remove part of her heel left Miller wondering if she'd ever be able to walk again.
Oh my goodness, they took a big chunk of my heel.
The surgery was successful, and Miller is now cancer-free, she says, but her health scare upended assumptions about skin cancer in communities of color.
Growing up, I didn't know about putting on sunscreen. I was never taught about it. I was kind of ignorant to it. I thought that, people of darker complexions, African Americans, we don't get, skin cancer.
Even though darker skinned people have melanoma at lower frequencies than Caucasian people, when we diagnose it, it tends to be much more advanced.
Dr. Alexandra Krajewski performed the removal and reconstructive surgery on Jasmine Miller's heel.
That includes the entire lesion, plus also 2 centimeters around her lesion, down to the underlying muscle fascia or the bone.
When I was growing up, I don't remember anybody talking about skin cancer. The tanning products we used burned you. The damage from that surfacing sometimes decades later.
I used to love the sun, and not that I don't love it, I'm just a little afraid of it now. I'm afraid of its power, and I think that's what we neglect.
Miller says when she was told she had melanoma, she shared the news with only a very few family members.
I didn't tell nobody. It was nobody's business. But now, look, I'm telling the world.
A message for everyone under the sun. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
We have more on this story and resources for you on skin cancer on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Get more of the stories you've seen on Newsday TV at Newsday.com. Plus breaking news, investigations, things to do, restaurants, and other Long Island news you can't get anywhere else. At Newsday.com, covering Long Island like no one else can.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Have a terrific Tuesday. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with a look at your hyperlocal 7-day forecast.